This is a session that is really important. This is the one Dr. Johnson talked about this morning about the gradebook in Canvas and how important it is. And we're going to run through some steps here about creating an efficient and student-centered gradebook. And the idea with this session, as with the others, is that you can follow along and you can have your gradebook set up. So that when you leave here today, you will have your gradebook set up, you'll be ready to go, and it will be set for students when they arrive in your course. Leading this session will be Sally Hughes from the Center for Teaching Excellence, and Carlos Perez will be moderating and answering questions. And we may have some support from the LMS support team as well. Mel may be here. I know she's on her way, or perhaps on her way shortly. So Carlos is going to take over those duties in the interim and fill that out. So let us know what questions you have. I'll continue to monitor the chat online. And with that, I'll turn it over to Sally and Carlos.
Thank you. You want to probably have, I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but you might want to have your course open because I am going to give you some work sessions to implement the steps that we go through during this session. So just a reminder that we would love for you to enroll in our new Canvas Essentials for new faculty. And I don't think we would even turn you away if you're not a brand new faculty member. If you're an existing faculty member and just want to get better at Canvas, we would love to have you as well. The link on the screen or the QR code will give you a link to the registration form. So as soon as we can get those turned around, and you do have to have your TAMU email in order to register for that. So once you have that, register.
And I will just add there, I have not processed those registrations. So if you enroll in that day, once I get back to my office after we're finished your day, I will process those enrollments. So if anybody has joined and wondered why they are not part of that community yet, I will process those as soon as I can.
Yeah, it's a manual process. Okay, so our objectives for today are we want to, in 7 steps, set up a gradebook that, first of all, maximizes your effort and creates a very efficient way for you to communicate with students, feedback to them, and then also minimizes student confusion as to where they stand in the course, what the grades are, and so forth. Dr. Johnson this morning articulated a pretty compelling reason for having an accessible, efficient gradebook set up for your students. And so we're going to show you how to go ahead and do that. So step 1, I would even back up and say step 0 is get your syllabus finalized. Once you have your syllabus finalized, then that will. You want to work that for me? You can do that, kids too. Okay. Sorry about that. We had some people who were trying to get in, and we want to make sure that they were let into the Zoom room. Once you have your syllabus set up, that's going to give you a framework around which you're going to set up your gradebook. They should match. They should align. So the first thing you want to do is, once you finish your syllabus, decide how you want your gradebook to be configured. It can be a points-based gradebook, or it can be a weighted gradebook. And we have videos for each of those versions. A points gradebook is just as you might imagine, you have a certain number of points possible in your course, and your students earn certain points up to, the total possible number. You can have categories within a points-based gradebook, but what I would tell you is a points-based gradebook, a points-based gradebook, must really be configured at the beginning of a semester, and you know exactly what assignments and assessments you're going to have your students do. If you try to add things during the semester, you're going to have to recalculate and figure out and have to change your gradebook as it goes along. So if you're 100% set on which assignments you're going to be having your students do, and you know what those points will be, then the points-based gradebook might be for you. But if you might add an assignment here or add a quiz there, if you're a little less rigid in your gradebook or in your syllabus as to what assignments you're going to have your students do, then the weighted might be better for you. So once you have decided on what type of gradebook you're going to do, then you want to choose the grading scheme. And I'm going to go ahead and get into a sample course to show you where this is. Your grading scheme basically articulates to your students what constitutes an A, what constitutes a B. So, is this your training course, CJ?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way you access your grading scheme is in your course navigation menu at the bottom. You're going to go into settings. And then keeping course details selected in that tab, you're going to scroll down and you will see grading scheme as one of your options here. It's down near the bottom. When you click the view edit button, it'll show you basically what your grading scheme is already set at. There are other grading schemes available. So right next to that button, there's a drop-down menu and you can see some of the others as well. You can even create a new grading scheme if you wish to. Don't forget to, if you make changes, don't forget to click update course details. Okay. Let me continue on. Once you have that syllabus and you've decided points versus weighted, and you've set your grading scheme, then you should set up assignment groups. And you can do this for either a points or a weighted gradebook. Your assignment groups is going to provide some clarity to your students as to how their assignments are organized. In a weighted gradebook, the assignment groups act as where you set your weights for different categories of assignments. Hello.
Going on, I can't hear you well.
I think everyone in here can hear, but
Is that on my Zoom, right?
yeah. So we're gonna hold off just a second so our Zoom people can hear better.
All right, that should help. Try, go ahead, see you.
Test 1, 2.
Is that better? Ask him if that's better. Ask them.
He's
Those of you on Zoom, we just had someone from IMS come and check everything. Could you let us know if the sound is improved? I'm on the handheld mic. Sally's on the lapel mic. Can you let us know? Okay.
So the ceiling mics tend to kind of interfere
okay.
with the handhelds.
Perfect.
So if you want them to talk, like your phone to talk, you can unmute them.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Cool.
Thank you. All right. Hopefully that's better. All right. So as I was saying, when you create assignment groups, and I'll demonstrate that in just a second. And additionally, there's a video of creating and editing assignment groups and a playlist for all of your gradebook setup. When you set up an assignment group, that provides the clarity as to what type of assignment an example one would be and how that factors into either your weights or your points. Okay, so the way you access assignment groups in your course, you're not going to set up these groups in the gradebook. You actually set them up in the assignments area. So in your course navigation, you go to assignments, and you'll see in the top right-hand corner, there's a place that says add group. So if I click add group, I can create a sample group and then designate what percentage of the grade it is. Now, those of you who are doing a points-based gradebook, this will require a little math on your part. If your course is worth 600 points and you want this set of assignments to be a percentage of that or a component of that 600, you just have to convert that category to percentage of the total. So you're doing the math. And then you designate what percentage it is in that area. So you'll notice now I have this new assignment group. Okay, and I designated that it is 25% of the total grade. Once I have my assignment group set up, and that's for both a points and a percentage gradebook, then I can use my categories to add assignments to it. So I might say, okay, this quiz is going to be part of this assignment group,
or this assignment is going to be part of this group. And you can designate them here, how many points it's worth. You can even set due dates, which we strongly recommend. Is every assignment in your course should have a very clear due date. And then we have some more options here. So if you have, well, that didn't do what I expected it to do. Let me go back. If I add for my group, so this is going to create that new assignment and I can save it and publish it. If you want to go ahead and put in instructions for that assignment or instructions for that discussion, then the more options is the selection, and you can create it from here. Alternatively, if I'm creating a new discussion, I could go to the discussions area and add it there. One of the neat things about Canvas is there's usually more than one way to do anything you wish to do. So let me go back to my presentation here. CJ, are you putting links to the?
Yes, I put the links to the presentation and the step-by-step for the gradebook. I've not put the videos yet in, but I will put those in shortly.
Okay. Thank you. Oops, you know what? I forgot to do something. Hold on. So once you have set up your assignment groups and the weights for those, there's some rules that we're going to edit that will help with your gradebook. Okay, so before we get to those, where am I missing the rules, CJ? I thought is there a link somewhere that I'm missing? Oh, I got it up here. So you can also set different rules within your groups. For example, now that I have these different categories, if I want to edit that particular group, I would use the little 3 dots at the top of that group and then click edit, and that will give you, I'm missing something, CJ. For like the dropping, like if you want to drop a grade.
Individual forums.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Oh, that wouldn't have anything.
Oh,
So,
well, that would explain it.
Yeah.
You got to have assignments in the group before you can edit that. Okay. So then it would be under edit
There
and
you go.
here. Okay. Thank you. I'm like, why isn't it showing up? I knew it. I knew where it was. All right. So once you have assignments in your assignment group, for example, this imported assignment section, this group, if I go to the edit screen and do what I just did, I'm getting some more options because I already have assignments in there. So this is where you can drop lowest or highest grades or designate what assignments you want to drop if you do that. The reason you might consider for a points gradebook using these assignment groups is because if you don't set up assignment groups in a points-based gradebook, then the automated process of dropping one, if that's something you do in your course, is not possible. You would have to do it manually and go find all of the assignments in that category that you wish to drop for each student. And depending on how many students, that might be a manual process you would like not to do. So thank you, CJ. It's one of those post-lunch moments.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to stop talking and give you about 5 to 7 minutes to look at your gradebook. While you're doing that, I want you to decide, am I going to use points or percentage? I'd like you to create an assignment group and add some assignments to it if you can, even if they're just placeholders for future assignments that you're going to flesh out. Set a grading scheme. Remember, that's under your settings. And then once you have an assignment group set up with some assignments in there, then go in there and set some group weights and rules. Okay, we're going to keep going. So setting up assignment group rules. There is a how-to slideshow that CJ is going to put in the chat in just a moment. And I'll demonstrate in our practice course. First, you're going to go into the assignment. Let's just follow the steps here. So I'm going to go into the assignment. I may be in the wrong place. Let me look back real quick. Yes, say again. The 3 dots? Okay. So it's in the assignment group. Okay, thank you. So when I'm in an assignment group like this, I want to then edit it. And then in here, you will have the option for designating the number of scores to ignore for each student. So if I want to drop the 1 lowest grade, I would change this to 1 grade. And this is going to be just within this assignment category. I might conversely want to drop the one highest score, or maybe even both. I can also designate an assignment that I never wish to drop. So maybe within your quiz assignment group, you have 1 quiz that's extremely important and you don't want it to be dropped for any student, regardless of their grade. You can make that designation here in the assignment group editing area. Just making sure I didn't miss anything. Once you make those edits for what percentage, any lowest scores dropped, any highest scores dropped, or any assignments that you never want their score dropped, don't forget to click save. Now, after you've got your assignment group set up and edited the way you want them, you need to set your gradebook to reflect your late and missing work policies. When we did all of those assignment groups, that was in the assignments area of Canvas. This section of activities will take place in the gradebook itself. So I'm going to go back to my sample course here, and I'm going to, on the menu bar, select grades. And then I'm going to go to the gear icon where I can make some changes. On the left, by default, we're looking at the late policies. So all of the options here, whether you are changing, no late work allowed, or 5 points off for each hour it's late, or what your possible lowest grade for any submitted assignment is. All of these are related to late work. And once you make a change, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Grade for missing submissions. It's not letting me. Let's say we're going to take 10 points off for each. We've got graded policies here. It doesn't, or graded assignments. It doesn't want me to make any kind of changes. Whatever changes you make, you are then going to click apply settings. Okay. If you will click the second tab here, these are your posting policies. So you have 2 options. You can have the system automatically post grades once they are graded, or you can manually post grades. The consideration for these 2 options really lie with, is this an assignment that is auto graded by your system, or is this an assignment that you're going to take time to grade? So auto graded might be like a test where students are doing multiple choice, multi-select, those types of Canvas graded questions, versus a test that's all essays and you have to manually grade item by item. I would, and this is our recommendation, if you have something that's auto graded, then you would probably select automatically post grades. And again, this is not whether or not the assignment is auto graded. This is how quickly the grades for that assignment are posted in the gradebook for students to see. Conversely, if I have to grade all of these tests, I don't want to grade the first student's test and they get their assessment back and have the ability to communicate with others who haven't even taken the test yet. So I would put manually post grades for those assignments that require you to manually grade them. And then once you've graded the entire class's test that you have to manually grade, then post those grades all at once. One thing that we would caution you about is you do not want to post, or you do not want to hide grades that your final average. So in the grade book, for a single assignment, next to the assignment name, there's these 3 dots, which usually indicate an edit, but you can hide grades until you've got it fully graded. This is how you can manually post grades when you finish grading this whole set. So you would hide them, and then once you get, and it's like, are you sure? Yes. Once you get everything graded in this column, and it's thinking, then that same column, you'd come back and show grades. Okay. Is there anything you can think of, CJ, that I've missed?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. And CJ's going to put some links in the chat for this. Okay, so your next activity, I'm going to set the timer for about 5 minutes. We want you to go in and explore the late and missing policies and the grade posting policies. And this set of activities is all in the grades area, not in the assignments area. Okay, we're going to continue on. So tips and tricks related to setting up a student-centered gradebook. One of the most important ones you could do is explore it from a student perspective. So remember, the way you get into the student perspective is you view as student. So if I go to one of these assignments, I'm going to go back into our training course here. And you've got this student view. Once you view as a student, that should set up a student view profile, which would allow you to actually take a quiz, do a discussion, complete an assignment, and you can see that your gradebook is calculating correctly. So there is a way to test to ensure your gradebook is calculating correctly. So we kind of already touched on this, when to hide, when to post. You want to consider auto grading and posting grades for auto graded assignments as soon as the student completes it. If you're manually grading it, I would hide it until you finish grading all the class and then post it. There is a way for you to actually hide the grade total in the settings of your gradebook. We strongly discourage you from doing that. The whole point of having a public facing gradebook and being transparent about your grades and making sure that it matches your syllabus is to allow your students to know how they're doing. And if you hide their grade total, that prevents them from knowing how they're doing in your class. Manually grading assignments. It can be improved and made much more efficient with the use of rubrics. This has a great rubric tool. And I believe we're doing a rubric session this coming fall, aren't we?
We are. Great cross plug there, Sally. We are doing a rubric session, I think in October. The Center for Teaching Excellence will be leading a session on rubric development.
Yes.
We're not doing it today, but we have, I think it's an hour-long session on rubric creation, October, mid-October sometime. I don't remember the date exactly.
The ERS site. And if it's not posted there now, it will be soon. Rubrics are a great way to not only grade efficiently, but to give your students a very clear articulation of where their grade comes from in an assignment that's not auto graded. And so when you're assigning a project or a paper or something that you're going to have to manually grade, even discussion questions or essay questions in a test, a rubric will tell students exactly how their grade is determined. And then there's also a great tool within the gradebook where you can message students who. So think about all the categories that you could potentially communicate with students over. You can message an individual student, or you could message students who scored higher than a 95 on an assignment and congratulate them for their strong performance. You might conversely message students who didn't submit an assignment or scored less than a 70% or whatever, and provide them with necessary resources to help them course correct and improve their performance. So third activity, I'm going to pause here for about 5 minutes. While we're paused, I want you to try exploring from a student perspective. Try hiding or posting a score. It's probably not, we don't have time, or we're far enough into a semester where you could ensure a grade total is, well, you can ensure the grade total is visible, but you're going to have a hard time seeing if the grade's calculated correctly. And then explore the rubric tool and locate the message students who in the gradebook. Okay, we're going to wrap up real quick with a review before step 1. Finalize your syllabus. I can't state that enough. Get your syllabus finalized, add it to Canvas. One thing that we learned about the syllabus this morning is it comes directly from the Faculty Senate approved minimum syllabus requirements. And you need to know that the page in the template for your syllabus accessed from the syllabus button is also formatted fully for accessibility. So if you're gonna go rogue and do your own page, please keep that in mind, that you want your students to be able to access it, even if they're using assistive technologies such as a screen reader. Once your syllabus is finalized, determine which grading method you'll use, weighted or points. Create your assignment groups. Choose your grading scheme. Remember, that's going to be in your settings area. Back in the assignment groups area, you can set your weights and your rules. Set your late and missing work policy, which you'll find in your grades area, your gradebook, and then set your grade posting policy. It's also a good idea to communicate to your students expectations about how soon grades will be posted, so that they're not continuously wondering or emailing you wanting to know when you're going to get that composition graded and posted. So also, just a reminder that we do have some future trainings coming up in September and October. And if you will regularly check the ERS website, which is ers.tamu.edu, you will see a full listing of events that we have planned, programming that we have planned for you. And once again, don't forget to register for the Canvas Essentials for New Faculty. I think I've said that 4 times today, and I've only presented a couple. And that will be it.